Hello there, welcome back to the YouTube video with Ingani Titan. We're here on the Fjords map. We're in World of Tanks console, Mercenaries, World of Tanks Mercenaries rather. And I'm in the 53 TP, the Tier 8 Polish tank, the Tier 8 Polish heavy tank, which is now fully upgraded. So, we're in a Tier 9 battle, which is not too bad. One of the problems I've noticed with Tier 8, and it's been a issue, should we say, although this is not a bad tank. I've had a reasonable, I think, spread of matches in this tank, but some of the early matches, particularly when I was stock, we actually had quite a lot of matches where we were this one of two, maybe one of one or one of two Tier 8s in a Tier 10 battle. Although maybe the numbers have changed again, I don't know. You see, it depends, I suppose, what people are doing and things like that. But there was a spell there where it was a lot of Tier 10 battles, and that made life rather difficult because while the starting tank wasn't bad, particularly at Tier, it was actually quite competitive against the stock tank, against Tier opponents. But when it was low Tier, when it was a bottom Tier tank, it actually wasn't, wasn't as good. But the top gun is actually really good. It's a really good gun. This is probably a Tier 9 gun. Effectively, it's got very good gun handling. Exceptionally so for such an effective gun, I think, on a Tier 8 tank. So, we're in Fjords, and it's one of these maps that I hate because, for instance, right now, I'm very vulnerable to somebody actually coming in by the lake behind me. There's nobody actually covering that end. And if you push out here, you're going to get caught in a crossfire between the people in the high ground to the northeast and people around the corner to the west. And there's just so many places that you can be shot at, and particularly the T-54, that location behind where the T-54 is on the ridge the opposite side. There's a few locations there. Not every tank can get up there, but tanks with good powerful engines can get up there, and it can be a very poor location if the enemy actually are contesting the area A8, but if the enemy are pushed back like we are past corner up there in the northeast, then if you're on the ridgeline, if you're on that high ground behind the ridgeline, you're actually pretty much safe because you can't be seen from here. And we have the T-25-2, which just proved too much temptation for me and caused me to come out, and to no effect, and to a massive loss of health because there was a Waffenträger Panzer IV up there at the back somewhere where I can't see it. And then we have an Object 257 who displays a typical mistake of new players, and it can be actually quite experienced new players, but it's something sitting still while you're reloading or just being too slow to back off. You have the problem with the 257 in that you have to expose pretty much the whole tank to get a shot off on that ridgeline, but then he's sitting there waiting for the reload. And while his reload might be about the same as mine, two tanks of ours shoot him while he's sitting there, and I don't think he got any shot off. Certainly didn't have any effect on me. However, the eastern side has fallen and we have to go back and reset the cap. We did manage to prevent people slipping in behind me. The tank destroyer that was with us there pulled back and actually intercepted that move, so the team was actually coordinating reasonably well together. We have a T-10 in the cap circle. There's always somebody's going to go in and expose themselves. However, there's a bad chat coming around here that we cannot afford to let behind us, and he's been supported by, there's another back chat further off, back chat further back, and an Object 416. Can't really let the Object 416 have free reign, so I'm going to come up here, just put one through the commander's hatch, and we managed to do it even with a damaged gun, so the gun handling on this is pretty good. The 416 pulls back and actually starts, I think, disappears from view, so I'm going to come around here and give my assistance because the T-54 is giving that Batchat a very torrid time. and is likely to win that fight. And it's 2 versus 2 you see there, so making it a 3 versus 2 is going to actually turn the tide of the battle here significantly in our favour. Batchat's cutting a tank sandwich, and the hammer is in pretty good shape, but however I think I can take a hammer even with my current depleted health, just because of the alpha and the armour on this thing. But with assistance I think we'll have no problem. The hammer at the medium tank is going to get at least another shot off, possibly before I get my reload in. And he does, but the hammer fires at the same time and destroys my gun again. However, the gun's back in action. I've got a good repair crew on this tank, and we have, well, we have nothing else, but I've actually started to run food and things as well. I think it might make a difference, just improve the rate of fire and the reload. So there's just, well, there's the Panzer, the Waffenträger, and there's the remaining enemy Batchat. I think it's a Batchat of some sort. So the Waffenträger there shows a bit too much tank. We get a nice hit in, and it's a one-shot kill, but I'm a one-shot kill. Batchat's made an appearance, but is not doing anything much. And there's another Waffenträger appearing here as well, so we're 3 to 1. We've plenty of us here. Worth coming out and taking the shot. And that Batchat, I think, is retreated up into the northwest corner. I think he was planning to circle around behind us, and he thought the Waffenträger would last a little bit longer, but now he's trapped. I'm going to go this way. Not quite a one-shot kill, but I'm certainly a clip kill. And the atomic is probably, but he's no better off. He's worse off than I am, actually. He's good. So up we come anyway, but yes, the Batchat's no place to go. Could try and drive between the two guys approaching. They're both relatively slow machines. Decides to run, and has now vanished from view. Kind of surprised that I'm faster than the Centurion. I would have expected the Centurion to keep up with me. However, no sign of him yet, as he said that lake, sometimes they are. Nope, there he is. And now my turret rotation is going to be a problem here. It's a bit on the slow side. Thought about going around, but then no, there's no point in doing that. Too late. Too late, and eventually I think the heavy tank is going to get him. Oh, the Waffenträger has gone for the cap circle. Set a certain amount to be sensible to it, like, because you're dealing with a light tank that's very hard to catch. But it's just on a restricted map like this, it's nearly impossible for the light tank to get away. That shot did not work out as well as I was hoping. I damaged his tracks, but didn't actually do any real harm to the Batchat. And now he's slid down into the lake. So can I get a shot without getting a shot at it in return? Because I think I'm a one-shot kill. But the AMX is having none of it and just goes for it. And is better at this thing than I am. I invariably miss when I try stuff like that. Finish up drowning in the lake or something. I mean, I've tried it a few times. Sometimes it's worth going for it. But, you know, I just never seem to get to make the call. So, 4 kills, over 4k damage, 11 penetrations, not a lot of assisted damage, some bit of tracking I think early on. 2000 blocked, which is pretty good. And we got an ace tanker, high caliber, an ace tanker. I was actually surprised by the ace tanker. Yeah, we did nearly 6,000 experience, but that's with all the multipliers and bonus operations and whatnot. We came number 1 by experience, so 81 base experience. So there you have it. It's actually quite a nice tank when it's fully upgraded, and I would definitely, you know, if you can get over the terrible tanks, the low tiers, but they're low tier, so you get through them quite quickly. And it looks like the higher tier tanks at the Polish line are actually really nice tanks. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please press like, comment, share. It really helps the channel out. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.